Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Easter to you all. You're watching Channel 2. I'm Abir Mitwali. I'll be presenting the news bulletin. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi mourns the passing of Pope Francis of the Vatican. Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Auti and Saudi counterpart meet in Riyadh, discuss latest international updates. And Egypt condemns Israeli settlers' calls to bomb Al-Aqsa Mosque. Welcome back. The news in full. With deep sadness and sorrow, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi profoundly mourned the passing of the head of the Catholic Church. President al-Sisi said that his departure leaves behind an extraordinary legacy of compassion and humanity that will forever remain etched in the conscience of mankind. He said His Holiness Pope Francis was an exceptional global figure who dedicated his life to the service of the values of peace and justice and worked tirelessly to promote tolerance and understanding among religions and build bridges of dialogue among the peoples of the world. He was a supporter of the Palestinian cause, championing legitimate rights and urging for an end to conflicts and the establishment of a just and lasting peace. He added that the loss of His Holiness Pope Francis represents a profound loss for the entire world, as he was a voice for peace, love, and mercy, and an example to be emulated in devotion to noble values. President al-Sisi also extends his sincere condolences to the Vatican State, the followers of His Holiness Pope Francis, and his admirers, praying to Allah the Almighty to envelop him in His vast mercy. Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Dr. Ahmed Al-Tayyib, extended his heartfelt condolences and sincere sympathy to members of the Catholic Church around the world after the death of Pope Francis on Monday. Calling him a distinguished symbol of humanity, Dr. Al-Tayyib said that the Pope spared no effort in advancing the mission of compassion during his papacy. The relationship between Al-Azhar and the Vatican witnessed significant development. The Grand Imam also acknowledged Pope Francis' dedication to strengthening ties with Al-Azhar and the Islamic world through his visits to many Islamic and Arab countries and through his fair and humane stances, particularly his condemnation of the aggression on Gaza and his firm stance against the Islamophobia. And the Vatican announced on Monday that Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, has died on Monday morning. Francis, who suffered from chronic lung disease, was admitted to Rome Hospital on February 14th after a respiratory crisis that developed into double pneumonia.
The Vatican announced on Monday that Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, has died on Monday morning. Francis, who suffered from chronic lung disease, was admitted to Rome Hospital on the 14th of February after a respiratory crisis that developed into double pneumonia. His last public appearance was on Easter Day, when he emerged to greet thousands of people in St. Peter's Square, drawing cheers and applause. Beforehand, Francis, who is the first Latin American pontiff, met briefly with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. On Monday, Vatican's Camerlengo Cardinal Kevin Farrell lamented the late Pope, saying he taught us to live the values of the gospel with faithfulness, courage, and love, especially for the poorest and most marginalized.
Welcome back. On the occasion of celebrating the Spring Festival of Sham al-Nisim, First Lady Intisar al-Sisi greeted Egyptians on Orthodox Easter. She extended her heartfelt greetings to the Egyptian people. She said that this festival embraces the joy spring brings and embodies the depth of ancient civilization. This occasion is deeply rooted in Egyptian conscience and represents the authentic identity and spirit of the Egyptian people. Monday, the 21st of April, marks Sham el-Nisim. It's a festival that takes place in the same breath as Easter, falling on the day after Easter Sunday each year. The rituals and beliefs associated with today's Sham el-Nisim's celebration link it directly to ancient Egyptian feasts. Much like Easter, the festival deals with notions and creations and renewal. Like most ancient Egyptian feasts, Sham el-Nisim was linked to astronomy and nature. Ancient Egyptians determined the exact date each year by measuring the sun's alignment with the Great Pyramid in Giza. These days, many Egyptians rise at the crack of dawn and head out to parks and gardens for a family picnic. There, they enjoy the spring breeze with traditional meal of fish, onions, and colored eggs. And as part of Riyadh's visit, the Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdel Ati and Saudi counterpart Faisal bin Farhan met in Riyadh on Monday and discussed latest regional and international updates. They also discussed efforts to contain the crisis in the Gaza Strip, stressing the importance of ending hostilities and allowing aid into the Palestinian territory. The foreign ministers of Egypt and Saudi Arabia also discussed means of promoting bilateral relations. Foreign Minister Abdel Ati's visit to Riyadh aims at holding the meetings of the follow-up committee on political consultations between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. And Egypt on Monday issued a strong condemnation of calls by Israeli settler groups to bomb Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem, denouncing the incitement as a dangerous provocation to Muslims worldwide. We have more in the following report.
Egypt on Monday issued a strong condemnation of calls by Israeli settler groups to bomb Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem, denouncing the incitement as a dangerous provocation to Muslims worldwide. In a statement, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry rejected extremist and inflammatory rhetoric following the circulation of a widely shared artificial intelligence-generated video on Israeli social media platforms.
The Armed Forces Authority for Organization and Administration on Monday sent some recruitment committees to Al Arish city to offer their services to the people with special needs and elderly people in northern Sinai Governorate. Some of the teams were sent to help in regard to adjusting military service status for people of determination. This comes as part of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's directives to provide adequate services to the people of determination, and comes as Egypt commemorates the Sinai Liberation Day on April 25th. Welcome back. The Cabinet's Media Center issued today an infographic showing that Egypt raised year-on-year the value of its exports value by 93% in the upcoming budget for the fiscal year 2025-2026. According to data mentioned in the balance sheet, the exports value in the new budget was estimated at 44.5 billion Egyptian pounds against 23 billion in the 2024-2025 budget. The new budget also boosted the support for the state's financial resources by nearly a quarter, reaching 3.6 trillion pounds on an annual basis. And Minister of Investment and External Trade Hassan El-Khatib today met Ambassador of the Czech Republic to Egypt on enhancing bilateral ties and cooperation, particularly in the trade and economic fields. The minister stressed the importance of building on previous successes in promoting the economic partnership between the private and public sectors of the two countries. El-Khatib highlighted that the government attaches a top priority to attracting investments in the line with its 2030 Sustainable Development Vision. The Czech diplomat, meanwhile, expressed his country's appreciation for Egypt's vision aiming to develop external trade and increase investments, noting that the meeting is a roadmap for enhancing partnership between both sides. Welcome back. Federico Valverde's stunning stoppage in time kept Real Madrid in La Liga title after they eventually overcome stubborn Atletico Bilbao. Victory kept Real 4 points behind leaders Barcelona with 6 games to go, reviving their hopes to retain the title. Barca take on Mallorca tomorrow in continued title rivalry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned.